In this digital age, how do we get to know ourselves in terms of our personalities and, more crucially, our potential? The Stoic Greeks had a motto that read, "Know thyself." You will discover 8 Stoic tactics that will help you truly know yourself in this video. Seize the chance to explore the depths and boundless possibilities of your own intellect. Stay with us through to the very end if you are seeking profound self-discovery and personal improvement. Start us on our path to being a more self-aware you. 1. Observe yourself as though you were observing a stranger. Ever consider how we may behave differently if we put ourselves in the shoes of someone else and watched our behaviors and responses? The core of a potent Stoic approach is this idea, viewing oneself with the disinterested curiosity of an outsider. Our perception of ourselves is often distorted because we are entangled in our web of prejudices and feelings. Let's dissect it. Consider yourself the lead role in a film that you are viewing. What criticisms would you offer of this character's decisions and actions? This change in viewpoint enables you to view yourself more clearly and helps you recognize patterns of behavior and responses that may not be consistent with your ideal self. This is about obtaining insight, not about criticizing oneself. You don't carry the emotional weight of self-observation when you see a stranger. Regardless of how they behave, you see them for what they are. We want to have a clear, objective picture of who we are. The Stoics instruct us to watch an experiment as a scientist would, without passing judgment. Remain calm as you sense your fury building. Observe your feelings as though they aren't your own, and ask yourself, why am I angry? This technique offers a startling clarity. You begin to comprehend the origins of your emotions rather than letting them carry you away. It's not about stifling emotions. Rather, it's about viewing them objectively. In a world where emotions can be as ephemeral as social media fads, yet as consequential as real-world decisions, this viewpoint is essential. Although difficult, this perspective change has great power. Seneca famously said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." By keeping an objective eye on oneself, you can lessen the needless suffering brought on by false beliefs and extreme reactions, which will lead to a more contented and true life. 2. Accept every aspect of who you are, flaws and all. You know how sometimes you focus mainly on your shortcomings when you look in the mirror? It's simple to focus on our flaws or the aspects of ourselves that we find objectionable when it comes to our personalities. This ongoing self-criticism produces a very unkind internal narrative. The truth is that accepting all aspects of who you are, good, horrible, and yes, even ugly, is the first step toward real growth. It's about accepting who you are as complete without negating or focusing too much on your flaws. Seeing the true aspect is what Stoicism is all about, not just the positive side. It encourages us to accept who we are completely. You're not giving up on your self-improvement. Rather, you're beginning from an honest position when you accept yourself, flaws and all. And the ability to change comes along with honesty. The basis of true transformation is acceptance. As Marcus Aurelius correctly stated, accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. Try this. List your advantages and disadvantages. Don't run from the realities that make you uncomfortable. Consider this list a map rather than a judgment at this point. Your deficiencies are places where you need to grow. Your strengths are your tools. Self-acceptance doesn't equal stagnation. Rather, it means empowering yourself to grow from a position of understanding and compassion. Rather than punishing yourself for the ugly bits, ask yourself, how can I grow here? Never forget that every aspect of you plays a part in your journey. Acknowledging every facet of your identity creates the foundation for true self-improvement. Being the best version of yourself is more important than trying to become someone else. 3. Always push yourself, but begin modestly. In addition to accepting every part of who we are, it's crucial to challenge yourself. This is the second phase. Although it's important to accept who you are, progress comes from stepping outside of your comfort zone. Similar to a muscle, it requires both relaxation and activity. You've accepted who you are. It's now time to discover what else you can become. We learn the virtue of ongoing self-improvement from Stoicism. The secret is to start small, though. Large changes can be daunting and frequently result in failures. It resembles attempting to scale a mountain in one enormous step. Rather, approach it one short hike at a time. Put Epictetus's dictum to use by making modest, attainable goals. No great thing is created suddenly. Do you wish to exercise more patience? In your next interaction, try delaying your immediate response. Try to get in better shape. Take small daily walks instead of training for a marathon. Here's something you can do right now. Decide what tiny area you've been putting off or hoping to get better in. Plan on taking the smallest, easiest approach possible to it. Try reading 1 page per night if it's reading more. Practice speaking more confidently in front of a mirror or with a close friend. Appreciate these small successes. Despite their seeming smallness, they serve as stepping stones for bigger successes. Your potential is like a dormant seed waiting to sprout into something remarkable with consistent effort and perseverance as sustenance. Recall that every significant trip begins with a single step. By setting small, manageable goals for yourself, you're enhancing both your skills and self-assurance. 4. Instead of comparing yourself to someone else now, consider who you were yesterday. Have you ever found yourself depressed when perusing social media because it appears like everyone else is doing better? Comparing oneself to other people is a trap that is easy to slip into. The only reasonable comparison, though, is with the person you were yesterday. This is about appreciating and honoring your personal progress and journey, not just about feeling better. This strategy is about measuring those changes, just as we discussed making small, gradual improvements. Turn your eyes inward rather than outward, where you may feel behind. How much have you changed since yesterday? Perhaps you have a little more strength, a little more knowledge, or just a little more patience. Apply the quote from Marcus Aurelius, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. Pay attention to your own advancement rather than the pathways of others. Here's something you can do. Take a few minutes each night to reflect on your day. In what ways was today better than yesterday for you? Anything could be the cause. Perhaps you made a healthier eating choice or paid closer attention during a chat. These show that you are still evolving as a person. They are more than just accomplishments. Maybe write these down in a notebook or an SMS on your phone. This record will serve as a potent reminder of your progress throughout time, little by little. You can liberate yourself from unattainable and detrimental expectations by concentrating on your personal development as opposed to evaluating yourself against others. You begin to value your special journey and realize that every day moves you one step closer to your ideal self. And 5. Accept accountability for your actions. When you begin to accept complete responsibility for your actions, thoughts, and life, something profound changes. It feels like seizing the wheel of a car that has been drifting aimlessly. We sometimes attribute our current situation to outside forces, bad luck, or other factors. But the truth is that we have the power to influence our life in the direction we desire, the more we take responsibility for our actions and choices. Owning our journey is the next logical step that arises when we turn our attention from comparing ourselves to others to our own personal growth. Epictetus said correctly, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." When you embrace this, you empower yourself to answer to life's problems with maturity and wisdom. It's about declaring, "This is my path, and I'm responsible for walking it." Determine whatever
aspects of your life you have been blaming on other people.
It could be in your personal objectives or relationships. This isn't about being hard on yourself. It's about realizing that you have the ability to make a difference. Now ask yourself, how can I take more responsibility in these areas? For example, if a project at work isn't going well, think about what you can do better to improve the situation rather than criticizing the team. Those around you will respect and trust you more if you take this attitude, which also promotes personal growth. Taking ownership of your life can have a dramatic and transformational effect on your sense of control and self-respect. You begin to view obstacles as chances to develop and learn. Building on this, the next method delves further into the practice of leading a Stoic life of self-discovery. 6. Make intelligent choices about your influence. Whether we are aware of it or not, the people, media, and surroundings around us have an impact on us every day. Like the air we breathe, it can be invigorating or contaminated at different times. These factors have the power to mold our ideas, deeds, and eventually lives. When harmful or bad influences begin to pull us away from our true selves or our ideal selves, we have a problem. Acknowledging and selecting these influences intelligently is essential to our development and welfare. As we have already explored, accepting responsibility for our lives entails choosing who and what we allow to have an influence on us. It's been said by Seneca, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." Being in the company of upbeat, encouraging and motivating people can help you advance. In a similar vein, selecting media for your self-improvement path that elevates and educates rather than denigrates and diverts is essential. Assess your existing sphere of influence first. Are there any people who constantly sap your motivation or depress your goals? Perhaps it's time to evaluate these connections again. Likewise, think about the media you watch or listen to. Does it clear your head or fill it with clutter? Make an effort to find people and resources who share your values and objectives. Make sure everything you consume, books, podcasts, or conversations, contributes to your personal development. Recall that the goal is to purposefully create an environment that supports your trip rather than to cut people off. 7. Accept just what is important. Our attention, energy, and time are some of the most precious resources we possess. But how frequently do we find ourselves accepting invitations to events that aren't really important? Overcommitment or being engrossed in little things can divert us from our actual objectives and passions. It's a valuable ability to learn how to say yes only to things that fit our values and goals. Thinking back to our last conversation about selecting influences carefully, this idea applies to our choices and obligations. It's all about matching our behavior to our principles. Living authentically requires choosing decisions that resonate with who we are and what we want to achieve, not merely filling our time with busyness. As Marcus Aurelius tells us, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." Take stock of your present time management practices first. If you ask yourself, does this add value to my life? Does it align with my goals? After going through your daily routine and the answer is no, it's time to re-evaluate that commitment. This is not to say that you should never volunteer or take time off. Rather, it's about finding balance and being purposeful. For instance, consider the significance of a project or event against your personal and professional objectives before accepting it or going to it. Will it help you get to your desired destination? If not, it might be wiser to turn it down with grace and concentrate on what really counts. Living a more purposeful and concentrated life is facilitated by only accepting requests that are genuinely significant. It all comes down to prioritizing quality over quantity in all facets of your life. We'll explore another Stoic approach in the next section that will assist you in keeping this focus and leading a life that is true to who you are. Pay attention. 8. Improve the lives of others. Making a positive impact on others' lives is one of life's most fulfilling experiences. We frequently lose sight of the significant influence we can have on others around us because we are too preoccupied with our own personal growth. The real test of our development is not just how we better ourselves, but also how we elevate others. The goal is to have a good impact that spreads beyond each of our personal lives. As we've seen, concentrating on what really counts includes fostering relationships and having an impact on others. Seneca said it so beautifully, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." This refers to sharing our knowledge and resilience with others. Enhancing oneself is not the only goal. The community must also benefit. Be a good influence in the lives of people who are close to you to start. It could be as easy as lending someone a sympathetic ear, imparting knowledge from your own experiences, or supporting someone who is struggling. You may mentor someone, give of your time, or just make it a point to show compassion and understanding to others. Keep in mind that even modest acts of support can make a big difference. It's not all about the big shows. In this path of self-discovery and Stoic practice, we not only improve the lives of others, but we also strengthen our own development and experience a greater feeling of fulfillment when we assist others. Keep in mind that your development is a lighthouse that can guide others. Bonus advice: make journaling a daily routine. For those who have traveled with us so far, here is an extra piece of advice. One of the most respected Stoic thinkers, Marcus Aurelius, essentially kept a journal. Didn't you know that? His well-known book, Meditations, which is a collection of his daily Stoic meditations, was never intended for publication. This demonstrates the effectiveness of journaling as a tool for introspection and personal development. Journaling can enhance every phase we've looked at, from improving others to objectively examining ourselves. It's a place where you can talk to yourself, ask questions, and think back on your everyday activities. You only need to start with your thoughts and feelings, raw and unfiltered. Fancy notebooks or beautiful language are not necessary. You'll uncover insights and clarity while you write that were previously obscured by the stress of everyday living. Seneca once said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." Keeping a journal helps you stay in the now, where you can appreciate your trip, draw lessons from it, and intentionally plan your future. Which of the Stoic methods best appeals to you? Post your ideas in the comments section. The conversation we had today is only a small portion of our overall learning process. If you are excited about personal growth and self-discovery, please indicate in the comments section by saying, "I'm in search of wisdom." Together, let's continue to study and practice the Stoic philosophy's principles.